please like and subscribe. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Bible Wisdom. I usually hold my mic here, but it's just right over to the side because I'm holding the Bible right now. I wanted to give a message about Hannah. This is from 1 Samuel, the book of 1 Samuel. I recommend, going over that if you haven't heard it. But anyway, most likely you have heard it. And so I'll give a brief summary, but I will also, not summarizing the whole book, but highlighting the particular point that I think is useful for today's message. Hannah, she did not have a child. And so the thing about Hannah's story that I want to emphasize is that sometimes we don't have something in life, and I think one area that Jesus wants us to overcome is not getting carried away by the cares of this world or the deceitfulness of riches. Does that sound familiar? Because that is what Jesus said in the Gospels. You can totally Google that phrase, the deceitfulness of riches. But anyway, he emphasizes also not getting carried away by the cares of the world, because sometimes having too many cares, like, for example, I want a car or a house, or I want to be married, or I want something in life materialistic. Sometimes those things can distract you from a real life with God. But I think another particular message in this book of the book of Samuel, about Hannah, the short intro about Hannah, goes to say that God, he sees what we're going through and that he is able to provide for our needs and for our wants. So let's dive in. There was a man named Elkanah who lived in Ramah in the region of Zuph in the hill country of Ephraim. He was the son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zuph of Ephraim. Elkanah had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. And so one of the things I want to emphasize about Hannah is that, she wanted a child, but it did not happen right when she thought it should happen. Or, the child did not come right immediately when she thought that it should. So anyway, let's keep reading. And again, I'm not going to read a whole lot of this passage, but anyway, each year, Elkanah would travel to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of Heaven's armies at the tabernacle. The priests of the Lord at that time were the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas. And one thing to know about Hophni and Phinehas is that they were priests, but they weren't doing the right thing as priests. They were sleeping with women in the congregation, which is fornication, sex before marriage. And I think a side note, which is not the main point of this message, is that we have to watch, because remember, God made us priests and kings in his new kingdom. Because we put our faith in Jesus, as it says in Revelation, we are also priests and kings. And so we have to watch how we are ministering to others, how we are representing the Lord's name, and take heed to ourselves and our behavior. Okay, let's keep reading. On the days Elkanah presented his sacrifice, he would give portions of the meat to Peninnah and each of her children. And though he loved Hannah, he would give her only one choice portion because the Lord had given her no children. Okay, and so that I stopped right there because I think this is the New Living Translation, but another version of that story says that basically Hannah's husband would give her an extra portion because she had no children. That's why I paused right there, because it said it kind of in a different way. But let's keep going. So Peninnah would taunt Hannah and make fun of her because the Lord had kept her from having children. There's a note, that's a note right there that, sometimes we can feel bad about the things that we're not doing right, or the things that we don't have. Maybe our life isn't going as well as how we see others are going. And so we can feel discouraged, but from our own analysis of the situation, but we can also feel discouraged from what others are saying and doing in our life, whether that be a family member or a friend or someone you don't know. Year after year, it was the same. Peninnah would taunt Hannah as they went to the tabernacle. Each time, Hannah would be reduced to tears and would not even eat. So this really bothered her. And so I guess my point is that God notices what really bothers us, and he cares about what we're going through. The Bible says that cast your cares on the Lord because he cares for us. And that's exactly what Hannah did. And that's what you need to do. And of course, you might already be doing that, but we have to really believe that, God is going to supply all our need and desires and wants when we delight in him and put our trust in him. So anyway, I'm going to skip over a little bit of the passage, but I just want to emphasize, I'm going to start from verse 12 about how the Lord saw her. As she was praying to the Lord, Eli watched her, seeing her lips moving but hearing no sound. He thought she had been drinking. "Must you come here drunk?" he demanded. "Throw away your wine." "Oh no, sir," she replied. "I haven't been drinking wine or anything stronger, but I am very discouraged. I was pouring out my heart to the Lord. Don't think I am a wicked woman, for I have been praying out of great anguish and sorrow." And so anyway, what did she do? Hannah poured out her heart to the Lord. And so that's what the same thing we have to do. That's the lesson right there, pretty much. I mean, at least one part of the lesson. And so let's fast forward to what happened with Hannah. The next year, the entire family got up early the next morning and went to worship the Lord once more. Then they returned home to Ramah. When Elkanah slept with Hannah, so when Hannah and her husband slept together, the Lord remembered her plea, and in due time she gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, for she said, "I asked the Lord for him." So anyway, I'm going to highlight a few more points that are in the story. You probably already know it, but just to notice that one, remember Jesus emphasized that we need to ask the Lord. Even though God knows what we need, even though God knows the things that we need, Jesus emphasized, ask and you will receive. He wants us to ask him. And then also, God can abundantly bless us. remember that Jesus wants to give us an abundant life. And so, also that, I guess I was trying to emphasize the point that when Hannah, got Samuel, that just wasn't it. She also had, it goes on to say that she had, I think, 3 sons and 2 daughters. So she had even more, And so I guess I just want to emphasize that your child is coming. For example, whatever it is that you are hoping for, I guess under a few stipulations or a few rules would be that, of course, if it's in the will of God, it's not necessarily something evil or sinful, but also making sure that we love God, because in order for him to work things for our good, it does say for those that love God and are called. And so I think that's another stipulation, is that we have to make sure that we are showing love to God and that we love God. And then also, and we remember we love God by keeping his commands, not necessarily just saying, oh God, I love you. We have to remember to practice what Jesus taught us in the Gospels. And so I'll say, your child is coming as we align our life with the way that the Lord wants us to live. Not necessarily saying, I obviously don't know your situation and I don't know the condition of your heart, but let's follow in line with Hannah and, cry out to the Lord, tell him our needs and wants, and, also realize that God cares about us and that he's not evil. He's not a bad God, in this, and he has no darkness in him. And so maybe we don't always understand what the Lord is up to, like necessarily like how certain things work, but we have good examples to say that, most likely, God is going to give you what you want. And so that could literally be a child, but I think the point of this video is to have confidence that, God can give you what you want. And I guess certainly it may not be a guarantee, so to speak, but it sort of is, in the way that, we have faith in God, and that, God can bring about so many good things for us if we take note of Hannah's life and apply what she did into our own life. So anyway, hope this video was helpful. Hope you got something from this video. And thanks for checking out this channel. I'll talk to you later. See ya.